College Math students. This video is to show you how to navigate the course weekly requirements specifically using the PACE chart. So right now I'm in Blackboard and I am on the announcements page. And remember, the announcements page is the landing page. So every time you go into Blackboard and you start fresh each day, this is the page you're going to land on. So this focus is for just navigation through the PACE chart, which is a really effective way of navigating the course on a weekly basis. So in Blackboard, I clicked on the PACE chart button in the left sidebar, and it opened up the PACE chart doc, and it's just a Google Doc. And you can scroll and it works just like a Google Doc. And so in this PACE chart, it summarizes your tasks that you're responsible for each week. So here's week 1, and here's week 2, and here's week 3, and so on throughout the semester. Now, week 1 is not a traditional week, so there's a separate video for navigating the responsibilities for week 1 that you can view after you've gotten done with this video. But in general, the PACE chart, we have a 5-step process that we follow, and stepping through these 5 steps will complete all the required tasks for the week. So, for instance, if we go to week 2, because that's a bit of a normal week, we see that step 1 is to watch the lesson tutorial, and then record and take notes. We all know that when we write things down, we remember things better. Record and take the notes that you need to take. So these links are all live, so you can go ahead and click on the tutorial, and this will give you a preview to the content and introduce you to the topics that we're going to cover. And then the step 2 is attend a live session. So our live session is Mondays from 11:55 to 12:55, and this link right here is the recorded session from last year. So once we have our live session in week 2, so that will be on September 12th, it looks like. Once we have our live session for week 2, I will update that link with our video. And then step 3 is you have some examples that you can look at to get more insight on the content. And then steps 4 and steps 5 are what we would call required steps. So step 4 is to do the practice in the week 2 folder in Blackboard. And then step 5 is accessible to you after you've passed step 4. And this is the assessments that are graded. So step 5 is what counts towards your semester grade. So really what we're going to do is we're going to focus the rest of the video on how you navigate steps 4 and 5. And so what we would do is, in order to kind of have this discussion, I need to kind of set the stage here, give you a little context. So I'm back in Blackboard now, and I'm in what we call a student preview. So in other words, right now Blackboard kind of thinks I'm a student. So there's a couple of things I set up ahead of time to explain how you navigate steps 4 and 5 in the PACE chart. And in order to explain that, I'm going to first look at my grades. So when I click on my grades, what I see is everything that's in the grade book. But if you notice, the week 2 formative has a U by it, meaning I've taken the week 2 formative and I haven't passed it. I had got an unsatisfactory grade. And then there's this third try retake for week 2, and I've got an S here. And so I'll go into more detail as to how I got these in and what they mean in terms of unlocking the assessment work for week 2. So if we go into lessons, and the first thing I want to do is kind of take you through as a fresh start. So I'm actually not going to talk about week 2 right now. I'm gonna go into week 3. So week 3 if we open the week 3 folder, this is what we would see if we were just opening the folder for the very first time, any of the weekly folders. So here's week 3. The first thing we see is the pace chart. I've embedded it right into the folder here, and we can navigate week 3 all from right in the folder. These links are all active, so you can get to the tutorial, and you can get to the recorded session if the live e-session has already been participated in. And if you notice steps 4 and 5 here, right, we have the weekly practice and the assessments. So if we scroll down, we'll have some textbook resources here, but underneath that, what you'll see is the week 3 practice. Okay, so this is step 4. So this is referring back to here, the week 3 practice. So the first thing we do when we get into this folder is we click on the week 3 practice folder, and inside that folder is going to be a formative. And so this is the formative that we have to pass in order to get at the assessment materials. So this formative, you have to receive an S, a satisfactory grade, on the formative, and we've set up this formative to be taken twice. And if you don't get a satisfactory grades after 2 attempts, then you need to use the I need a third try assignment below. So that's this assignment down here. So if you don't pass this in 2 tries, then you get locked out of this, and then you need to click on this. And this third try retake, basically what it is it has you upload. So it says you will only submit work on this assignment if you've taken the practice formative and have not received a satisfactory grade. If you pass the formative, then you can leave this empty. So here are the steps if you need to have the third try. You look back at your second attempt on your practice, and here's a short video as to how to do that, and you review the live session recording. And then what you want to do is for every problem, you want to write down the problem, the work, and the answers for the ones you had incorrect. So we're just correcting what we got wrong on our second attempt. And then you upload. So what you can do down here is you can either write out the solutions by typing, okay, or you can use the upload feature here and take a picture of the solutions and then upload them as a file instead. And then once you hit the submit, then you've submitted a third try, and I can go and correct that. Okay, so that's how you use that third try retake. So if we go back to the lesson, now I want to kind of show you what happens. So in week 2, if you remember back to the grade book, the student, in fact, let's just go back to my grades just to review that for week 2. For the week 2, the student failed, got an unsatisfactory grade on the practice, and so they submitted their corrections for a third try retake. And what that is doing is that's opening up the summatives. So if you notice in lessons, if we go into week 2, because they've gone into the practice folder and attempted the formative and then took the third chance retake, but because they've passed the practice, and again, passing the practice means either I passed the formative or I did the third try retake. Since they've passed the practice, they now have access to the assessments, and these assessments are the ones that actually count towards your grade. So now they can come in. Now you can come into the assessment folder, and for week 2, we have an assessment 2A and a 2B that need to be completed for you to complete your week 2 responsibilities. So really, this pace chart steps you through everything in one concise location. So this is really kind of a go-to document. And week 3, you can see they've got the same 5 steps. And week 3, then you would go into that practice and pass the practice so that you can get a hold of the assessments. And week 4 would be the same thing. So that's an overview as to how to navigate completing the weekly tasks within the PACE chart.